Hey guys, Roman and Reaper here. So as you can see, I'm here at the Odyssey. So that can only mean one thing. Yep, I'm about to head into Cineworld. And this is a very exciting one because I'm actually about to try 4DX for the first time. Yeah, I'm going to head in and see Top Gun Maverick in 4DX. Obviously, I've seen the film before, absolutely love it. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to try it, May as well try it with a film I've seen and know is good. So at least I'm guaranteed a good time. But the only way to find out if the experience itself is actually any good is to head in, get some snacks, admittedly probably not the wisest idea with the chairs moving, and get seated for Top Gun Maverick in 4DX. I've got my popcorn here and a Pepsi. Again, probably not the wisest decisions given the motion effects. Ready for my first ever 4DX movie. So, I am back from seeing Top Gun Maverick in 4DX. Obviously, the film needs no introduction. It is great, I absolutely love it. A genuinely, brilliantly made piece of blockbuster entertainment. It really solidified Tom Cruise as being Mr. Movies. But obviously, that is not why we're here. The reason why we're here is because this is actually my first time seeing a film in 4DX. I figured I may as well take a chance on it by seeing a film that I know is good. So, I went in, ready to have a good time with a, great film that I love. But should you give 4DX a try? Is it worth the money? Let's find out. So for the uninitiated, 4DX is a premium cinema experience that has a variety of effects such as moving chairs, wind blowing in your face, gusts of air, splashes of water, smoke at the front of the screen, even flashing lights, all designed to immerse you in the film by simulating the effect of what is happening on the screen. As you know, Martin Scorsese once likened Marvel movies to being more like theme park rides than actual cinematic art, and so here we are with a cinema experience that is by design a theme park ride, one which, ironically, a lot of Marvel movies have been shown on. If you've been to a theme park and it has a 4D cinema, you've likely seen a version of what 4DX has to offer. The difference obviously being that 4DX is fully licensed and shows proper feature films. But should you try 4DX out for yourself? Absolutely. If you want to try it out for yourself, Cineworld are currently running 4DX Rewind, where they've brought back some older films like, yes, Top Gun Maverick, and a lot of the big films from this year, stuff like How to Train Your Dragon and F1. So if you want some more of your Joseph Kosinski fix, there you go. Tickets are all $5.99, so if you want to try out 4DX, now's your time. It runs till the end of next week. Just a heads up, when you do book a 4DX ticket, there are two types of 4DX, 4DX and 4DX 3D. So if you're somebody who, doesn't like wearing 3D glasses and you've booked a 4DX 3D showing, well, you're shit out of luck. Now, to get the best out of 4DX, I'd say, go see a big blockbuster movie, something that has a lot of action set pieces, a lot of effects, so that way you can get full use out of the format, the chair moving around to simulate the action on the screen, or like gusts of air and flashes of light to simulate explosions and stuff. Stuff like that. You got to see like these big tentpole films to fully appreciate this kind of like theme park ride experience. And of course, very cleverly, these are calibrated to perfectly sync with what is happening on the screen. Now, obviously, yes, there have you might hear a few horror stories of the experience not being synced properly or being coded to a different movie altogether. But obviously, I imagine these are few and far between because obviously you get like the perfect 40x experience. It will be perfectly calibrated with what's on screen, and in a rather clever touch, you can also calibrate it based on your own experience as well. So yeah, for instance, if you don't want to get soaked, at the arm of your chair, you can actually choose if you want to keep the water effects on or switch them off. It's a very clever touch that does add a little bit of personalization to the experience. So yeah, it is definitely worth it. Especially if you're a bit of a thrill seeker and you want to see something big and action packed. Honestly, I kind of want to see Spider-Man Brand New Day in 40x next year. I imagine it'll be a good one, with all the swinging scenes and Hulk smashing stuff and Punisher shooting things. Yeah, it'll definitely be a really, really good one to experience in the format. But how about this particular film? Is it good to experience in 40x? Look, I've been hearing a lot of things about how Top Gun Maverick is, a great film to see in 40x, one of the best 40x experiences. So obviously I went in with that hype in mind, and I gotta say, yeah, Top Gun Maverick is a fantastic 40x experience. When it's next showing in 40x, I definitely recommend taking a chance and going to see it because it is a fantastic experience and really brings something new to what is an already great film. Obviously, where you get the most like punch from these effects is in the flight scenes. You really feel the throttle of all the G's as the seat moves with great speed. And of course, because these flight sequences are, fairly frequent, you get a lot of it. You get a lot of the seat movement. You get a lot of the wind blowing and the gusts of air, and even like some cleverly utilized smoke effects and like flashes of light for like bullets being fired and flares. It's really, really fantastically done. But there are also other moments that I wasn't expecting with actually quite subtle uses of the effect. Like the bar scene in particular has some really great, subtle uses of the like chair movement and stuff. It's very, very well done. And obviously, Maverick riding his motorbike is another one that utilizes the seat moving very, very well. In general, the whole movie utilizes these effects perfectly. It really enhances what is already a very, very exciting experience. But obviously, yes, the highlight of the whole thing is the final act, where obviously, it is, big and action packed with obviously, the central mission that the whole film has been building up to. And obviously, this is where, we get most of the effects, and yeah, it is an absolute treat. It makes such a thrill ride of a climax even more exciting to watch. It truly immerses you in the action in ways that you wouldn't get from a standard screening. It really enhances and brings something new to a fantastic film and makes it even more thrilling to watch on the big screen. Overall, the 40x experience gets a big thumbs up from me, and the experience watching Top Gun Maverick in 40x gets an even bigger thumbs up. So they're also showing Twisters in 40x next week. that's another really, really good movie, and I imagine that would be a great one in 40X with all the tornado scenes. And honestly, I kind of want to go to it. So, let me know down in the comments, have you tried 40X for yourself? What do you think of it? What movies have you seen in 40X? Have you seen Top Gun in 40X? And what upcoming films are you looking forward to seeing in the format? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.